to my episode, Insightful Conversations with Krishna Radha. Today we have a guest. His name is Bodhicitta. His friends call him Chichi. He is a retired associate professor of psychiatry from Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York. He's practiced psychiatry, energy healing, and taught meditation for 58 years. He he has been an Osho sannyasin for almost, he was born in 1935, so you do the math. He has studied Bardo teachings for 45 years of his life under the guidance of Kathar Khenpo Rinpoche, and he formally received his teachings from Thrangu Rinpoche in Kathmandu in 1986 and was empowered to transmit them after doing the 49-day Bardo retreat. When he asked Osho how to modify the contemporary mind, Osho said, "You do it, Bodhicitta, follow your feeling." He's lived with Swami Chinmaya in Nepal and again in Indian Himalayas until 2007. It's a fascinating story of how he reached Osho, and we will hear from him. So let's welcome Bodhicitta or Chichi. Welcome, Chichi. Thank you for coming on our show.
Namaste, Guru Bhai. Here we are.
So I'm so glad actually I get to talk to you. And I had a little conversation before this we started recording, and Bodhicitta had such fascinating stories about how he was as a young kid. Even when he was as old as 2.5, his teachers characterized him as a quiet boy who would sit in the corner and contemplate. And in his words, he had better judgment than his mother when he was 2.5 years. His search started when he started having a series of dreams where he started seeing death, processions of death, first as probably just people, then friends, then his family, and then himself. That affected something in him, and through his yoga teacher, he reached Osho ashram. So, what happened when you reach Osho ashram in Pune, Chichi?
My first meeting with Osho,
Yes.
I looked at him. He looked at me. I burst into tears and laughter. I felt like I'd known him forever. I crawled across the floor, touched his foot. He said, "Come closer, touch the other foot, Bodhicitta. I've been waiting for you." He touched my forehead. There were 3 explosions of light inside me. And I
Was
knew,
it the same time? This is the picture of the same thing, or was
no,
this
that's an energy darshana a couple of years later.
okay?
And he said, and I could feel that everything that I knew to that point was like a grain of sand on the beach. Whatever I thought was love was a cup full of the ocean, and that it was all over forever. There were just a few more details. I looked up at him. He said, "How long you are here for?" I said, "The family, the state of New York, the government of India all think 4 weeks. But if you have any other ideas, let me know. I'll take care of the details." He laughed. He said, "Neither the family nor the state nor the government have any control over you. You're serving a higher power." Then he said, "Have you done any of the groups in the West?" I said, "I did all the groups in the West." He laughed again. He said, "Anybody who's connected with psychoanalysis, psychotherapy, group work is doing my work. They awaken a thirst that only I can satisfy." I said, "I love you so much." And he said, "Eat me, drink me, breathe me, nourish yourself. You're part of my family."
So that was that.
I've never been the same moment. I've never looked back from an instant.
So then you go back to the west, you wind up, and then you move back to Pune ashram.
No, no, no. I went back, told my wife and kids we're going to move to Pune. She panicked, unbeknownst to me, wrote to the ashram. I get a letter a couple months later: preserve family harmony, stay there. So the next year, 1977, I go to Pune the second time with my wife. She takes sannyas, becomes Madheva Rasila. Her famous discourse is number 4 in the Heart Sutra,
Hmm.
titled Sannyas or Suicide, where she asks him, 6 women in my family have committed suicide.
Hmm.
And I got to suffer from that also.
Hmm.
And he goes to this big answer that the most sensitive people commit suicide. But if you take sannyas, you don't need to do it.
So you in Pune ashram, what is your day like? I know it must be changing. And but what is your? Did you have like? Were you doing groups? Were you leading them and doing darshans and helping build the ashram? Or
In Pune 1, I was there 3 times for about a month each in 76, 77, 79.
hmm
It's different each time. In 76, I did groups. 77, a little bit, uh, but had many friends, uh, just hung out. Uh, it's all a blur.
yeah. So you basically stayed in the ashram for as long as was needed. Then you went back. You took care of your family, and
Yeah,
then yeah, and then Rajneeshpuram. You also going to and fro back and forth, or were you just in Rajneeshpuram?
we went to the first annual World Celebration,
Okay,
and Swami Varesh. Do you ever know who Varesh was? He was the founder of the University.
okay,
He asked me to move to Rajneeshpuram because he was going to go there to lead some kind of what I don't know what kind of university they were going to call it, and I was
mm,
going to be head of clinical stuff. So I came back and told Rasila, my first wife, and we started to get ready for it. And then word comes from Baresh that Osho told him not to move to Rajneeshpuram because he and Sheila were like that. uh,
yeah.
but that January 1983, I went to Studio 54 for my daughter's 16th birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and I met Carolyn, Ma Carolyn.
Mm-hmm.
Fell madly in love and asked Jane, how about we all live together? And she said, I'm not that kind of girl. So I moved out with Carolyn. We went and did the counselor course in the fall of 1983 and then moved to Rajneeshpuram in 84 and 85.
So, Chichi, I wanted to ask you, was it hard? Like when you're in the ashram, probably the atmosphere is always similar, or you have like-minded people who are following the same purpose. But when you go back to your uh, normal life or whatever, how do you keep the practice? How did you maintain the rhythm
Back then, or could if
back then when you were going to back and forth between?
I did dynamic every day for about 14 years.
Okay.
I've been listening to Osho every day for at least an hour and a half for 52 years.
Mm.
There was an Osho center in New York that I'd go every week
Mm.
and hang out with fellow sannyasins. My basic practice for 50 odd years, in addition to listening to Osho every day, has been to be aware of my breath every waking moment. I've forgotten hundreds of thousands of times, but that keeps me grounded, centered, and knowing that whatever comes to mind, that's not me.
Yeah.
After Osho left the body in 1990, Swami Yoga Chinmaya asked me to go live with him in the Himalayas. So I was with him till 2007 in a beautiful commune there. I loved it. These same 30 people have been together for like 40 years.
Mm.
When I had to leave in 2007 because Ma Carolyn developed breast cancer,
Mm-hmm.
I said, Swamiji, I'm so at home in the commune. And he said, Bodhicitta, you're at the point wherever you are, the commune is with you. You carry the commune around you.
Yeah, I understand. But this happens over the course of 50 years, right? I asked you this question because there are a lot of people who are not only just Osho sannyasins or Osho lovers, but um, without a practice or without a community or without the sense of meditative atmosphere, how do they keep the mind, which is distracted with so many things and jobs? So I'm just glad that you answered, that you did your dynamic and you heard Osho. And
So the first thing, and one of the things I've looked deeply, deeply into, is what is Osho today? In 2002, we were walking in the Himalayas with a friend from Delhi who was worried about it. And Chinmaya said to him, Osho is as available today as both an energy and a moment to moment guiding intelligence as when he was in the body.
I agree. I've never met him, but I
When
still feel him so
when
strong.
I asked him in 1986, how am I going to stay in touch if I die or you die?
Hmm.
It's a somewhat long answer, but the essence of it was go deeper in your love and trust, and I can be with you any place, anytime.
Yeah, well said.
The first thing for sannyasins is to remember that all the doubts about whether Osho is available is our own problem. It's our own negativity that we can meditate on and get rid of. He's here all the time.
Yeah, it's just how you connect with it. Yeah.
The second thing, his main method, he said, is listening to his discourses. It's not, I mean, the content is incredible, but just listening to his discourses puts you in sync with his energy. Do that every day. And then find some moment to moment awareness method. Like I said, I like being aware of my breath all the time.
Hmm.
Keep doing a cathartic meditation until you don't need it anymore.
Hmm.
You'll know you're finished when instead of more energy at the end of it, you're tired.
Yeah,
It
I think these are all very helpful insights you have given right now. Basically, what do you mean by cathartic, just for our viewers, is a dynamic,
was
kundalini.
Kundalini, not a rush.
Yes. And
Or
then once you can sit and watch your breath or be quiet, still your mind in other ways. you can move on to those methods.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Chichi, I wanted to, you said something very beautiful before we started this conversation about Bardo and what, in a nutshell, Bardo is. Can you just tell us again?
The Bardo is the Tibetan teachings for how to die consciously, how to get enlightened in the period of dying and after death, or at least how to get a good rebirth.
So, and you were also talking about the insights and basically it's how it's a dream and how it's basically you choose.
So I have studied the after death fantasies of every culture, from the Sumerians 8,000 years ago, the ancient Egyptians, the Chinese, the Indians, the Central Americans. They all have in common that you're going to go someplace where you're going to meet a bunch of old men who are going to evaluate your life in some way and tell you where to go and what to do.
Yeah, review.
So I was fascinated by how all these cultures who didn't have anything in common 10,000, 8,000 years ago, how they would do that. That's a projection of the human mind,
Mm-hmm.
which is built on the idea of self and other.
Mm.
And until you realize that there is nobody, you're going to keep reincarnating. Now, the Tibetan Bardo teachings are an intensive set of meditation practices so that you will be alert, conscious, and disidentified while you're dying and thereafter.
Mm.
The difference between the Tibetan practices and Osho's practices, the Tibetans are classic Eastern, renounce the world, be an ascetic, and just concentrate on your inner practice, but don't live a life. Osho's teachings are essentially Zorba the Buddha. Be
Mm.
as conscious while you're making love and going to the amusement park
Mm.
as when you're listening to the discourses and dying. So the new Bardo teachings is to be as conscious as possible all the time. And remember that anything that comes to mind, whether you're in the body or not, it's your own dream. You're creating it. The
And
Tibetan,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
even after death, the Tibetan thing about getting a good rebirth is basically in whatever way you create it, go with people who are kind, loving, and meditative. Don't go to very exciting cities or violent places like that. Somehow you'll know what the energy of the people is. Trust it.
So, how do you fit this into the contemporary Western context? Because that's what your work seems to be about. Take the old traditions and make it more palatable for people who are
I start
living.
out with be as conscious as possible every moment. I
Mm.
use breath awareness, but I say if you find any other method with any of the other contemporary enlightened beings, that's okay too. But the point of that is to be here now and to know that you're not the mind. All the methods of meditation for the past 10,000 years are to realize that you are a vaster intelligence that's aware of the mind but isn't it. The second principle is realize you're creating your life every moment, every thought, every feeling. Usually it's an unconscious repetition of old habits from this life and other lives.
Mm.
Learn how to tune in to what does existence want from me now? What's right for me now? Should I take this drink? Should I smoke this joint? Should I go out with this girl? Take this job? There's a wisdom in you. So these are the two basics, is to be in charge of your life, be aware every moment. The third thing I suggest to people is to listen to an enlightened master every day. I give them a list of 8 contemporary enlightened people with Osho at the top. And last but not least, to do a cathartic meditation of some sort, or at least gibberish, or dancing, or something every day until you don't need it anymore. So that's how I get people started. And
So what you're saying in a nutshell is basically you live consciously. The way you live is the way you're going to die. And if you've lived a life full, then it's easier to accept death. Is that what
and
you're...
if the person, I'm at the point where I just know how much the guy who is in front of me can take now.
What do you mean by that?
Some people are only ready to do a little bit of meditation once in a while. Every once in a while, somebody's ready to take sannyas now. But, I just have seen enough people I know. But being responsible for yourself is the root. If somebody isn't ready to be responsible for themselves, then I'm wasting my time. I give them a little medicine.
So, Chichi, tell us, like, for someone maybe, you try living consciously, you are aware, and I think most of those people who are sannyasins or who love Osho or any other contemporary guru, they
So,
try to bring some kind of awareness in their life. But
a few things.
okay,
We're all here for as many lives as it takes to get enlightened. You're going to keep taking rebirths until you become conscious enough.
how do you shorten that? How do you make it short? The rebirths.
Be here now. Everybody's got a natural pace. You can't go any faster than is natural for you. Not enjoying the moment and thinking too much about being enlightened is a great obstacle for the seeker. Chinmaya told me, he said, the masters don't want this made public. It takes an average of 200 consecutive births to start meditating.
Wow.
And then probably a half dozen as a meditator till you finish the trip. When he told me that, something in me relaxed, and especially my judgment of my fellow sannyasins and other people. People go at whatever rate they're capable of. When Osho left the body, Carolyn and I were doing a Tibetan pulsing session with Swami Ashish in Krishna House, only about 50 yards from where Osho left the body. And like a wave of energy came over us. And in that wave of energy, it came to me, you're already enlightened. And everything you're doing to make it happen is preventing it. This was 35 years ago. I'm still doing it, albeit less and less. It's a great paradox that the harder you try, the slower you go after a certain point.
Hmm. Yeah, especially in today's day and age, the whole thing, you just sit and let the grass grow. I don't see many people being able to do that, just the way the environment is. And the way we are always overscheduling ourselves or have multiple tasks, it's just like sometimes I wonder, so many amazing tools at our hands, life should have been slower because it takes the work out of you. The car is faster, so you could be slower, like you don't have to rush to get, and yet we are busier and we rush through things, which is such a paradox. um uh, but yes, then again, as you said, the breath work and listening to Osho's discourses brings me back. Usually I have two kids and a house and a lot of things that I, huh,
How old are your kids?
they are teenagers,
Well,
so
to me, you
dealing with.
look like a teenager.
Thank you so much. Yes, but yesterday night when they came and there was this like whole chaos in the house, and I realized like everybody's talking but nobody's listening. And I just we all sat down, me and my kids, and my husband was doing something in the kitchen, and we said, let's do gibberish, because that doesn't take too much, right? You can just start, and they just went off for like 15, 20 minutes, and at the end they were like so tired, they just blocked. So it always like helps me just get these things back, because as you said, Zorba the Buddha, your normal life, there are 10,000 things you do, and then again bringing back your consciousness, bringing back your awareness to yourself. um
That's learning to tune into yourself and ask what's right for me now
hmm,
is such a fundamental step. It slows everybody down.
hmm.
I have a practice called 5 Stars for Being Here Now that's on YouTube. It's how to get out of your head into your horror and get the right answer to any question. What should I do now?
So Osho used to always say your hara center is the one that actually is the brain, kind of. It's where the thinking really happens. How did you have you had any experience? Because death is very closely associated with hara. So,
It's your energy center. All the other centers feed off it.
and you think breathing is what brings you back to your hara?
It's your intention. It's not what you do, it's your intention. If you intend to be aware of your horror, you become more and more there. It's not a doing, it's your intention to be aware there. In his last year, where he would lead the meditation at the end of every discourse, it was always put your attention in the horror and remember you're only a witness. Anything you can be aware of is not it. You're the unknowable knower. He said that over and over and over.
Hmm. Chichi, can you tell us, like I was telling someone in my last episode, I used to think Subhan, actually, I don't know if you know him.
I know
Subhan.
Subhan and Shanti both very well.
Yeah, so I was telling them, a few years back, I used to never think about death. I used to think as it happens to someone else. And I used to think I'm not scared of death because I never really experienced it. I haven't even experienced it even today, but not even imagined it. It's something that happens to you. And when I started meditating and getting a little aware, instead of being happy, and I started having all these fears and anxieties, and because that's what comes up when you start meditating. And death was like, it was a big thing on, like, I for the first time I could feel death. and it scared me. What would you tell people who, like, I don't know, like any words like
That's a good beginning.
Hmm,
Everybody's going to die.
hmm,
Being aware that you're going to die is the beginning of meditation, the beginning of being a human being rather than a big chimpanzee. Just watch it. It's going to morph, change. Meditation is not a digital thing, one and done. It's gradual, it's very analog.
hmm.
It's deeper and deeper, vaster and vaster. Surprises keep coming. Just trust what your practice is and enjoy it in this moment.
Anything for the older people who probably maybe have not meditated as much, or like, and they because I guess as you get older, the it's quite eminent that you are going to die. The feeling is quite right there in your front. And then probably you start thinking more about it compared to probably people who are younger and who have never meditated or are not aware. Or what would those people do? Like, if how do you get the fear out of death?
You don't get the fear out, but you become as aware as you're capable of. That's all you can do. And enjoy your life. Watch the fear of death. It gradually morphs, gets further and further away. And this realization that you're one with everything and here forever slowly comes in. Listening to Osho is still the best meditative practice, especially for older people.
Osho used to say, love is absence of fear. And basically, for me, that means what you said. If you're connected to the whole, if you feel the whole vastness of existence, it kind of brings you down to this place where death kind of becomes a event in the life. So for me, I usually go back to the practices of love and feeling more connected. Has your path been? Has it been the one of meditation, being going inward more, being more aware, or was love a shadow of it, or was med?
Chinmaya said Osho's path is a combination of the path of love, the path of meditation, karma, the path of action, and a mysterious fourth.
Mm,
Don't choose intellectually. Keep tuning in. What's right for me now?
mm.
It's going to keep changing.
So what
It's
I'm hearing
learning
you.
to trust yourself and know yourself that will tell you what your path is. It's not written anywhere.
Mm,
After that first meeting with Osho, where I had that incredible experience, I wrote him a note and said, "How can I touch your feet every day? Can I live under your bed?" And he wrote back, "Let go is the way." And that's been my essential practice for the 50 years. There's something in you that knows, it's a knack. You know what's natural for you now, you know what you can let go of. You don't have to do let go, it just happens. Once you understand it's unnecessary anymore, it lets go.
How do you know what you're holding on to?
As you're letting go of it, you find out.
Mm. Some things automatically go out of your life, so you just let them go.
Yeah.
Mm. That's hard.
Most, certainly all of Western man for the past 5,000 years doesn't love themselves. What's called normal is the idea that's all over the culture that you're born in original sin, you got to follow the Ten Commandments or some other set of bullshit, and you're going to go to hell if you're not perfect.
Hmm.
So nobody accepts themselves totally. Nobody loves themselves totally. The let go is letting go of this 5,000 years of conditioning of what's normal in your society. The Indians had their own version of it, but having lived there for over 25 years, they're not that different.
Yeah, I would agree. Just different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we agree that religion gives you all kinds of ideas. Unconditioning the mind starts with
It's
meditation.
it's our animal nature. The religion is a frosting on the cake, but the cake is your. If there's this wonderful series on Netflix called Chimpanzee Nation or something like that, where
Mhm.
they show chimpanzee society, and it's so much like human society. There's a guy who's the alpha male, and all the other ones
Mhm.
listen to him, and the women have their own society. And anybody from a different gang who gets on their turf, they kill them or eat them.
Mhm.
And man was like this. And then at some point, he invented private property and marriage, and a god who would tell him that what he was doing as a monkey was perfect. But it's our monkey mind
Mhm.
that we make up stories about it.
Yeah.
We're hardwired for it. All we can do is realize we're not that. That's what meditation does. It doesn't change it directly. As you become aware of it, you giggle and say, okay, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. I agree, and I would also the way I think of religion, and as you said, I've seen a documentary with the chimpanzee. It's brutal. It's quite brutal. I mean, and yes, you can relate that with human mind, the reptile mind. But like I don't see religion as bad. I just see it at different levels of evolution. As you said, everybody comes here a lot of time, like you said, 200 lives, and you need something. At least people who fear some kind of thing like God, whatever is up there, probably reduce the violent tendencies, or they have some structure, and then you move on to the next evolution where Buddha just took away everything. I think he was one of the few first ones who said there's nothing up there, there's just void, and he gave meditation in place of that. So I, I agree with you, but I also see like everything as a necessary part in this world. Because what I live in US, and I see that like a lot of people are atheist or agnostic, or and younger generation, they don't go to church or whatever. But what took place instead of that is political fervor and gender like dysphoria and things like that in their mind, because meditation didn't take root. So if awareness doesn't happen, then you hold on to something else when there's a void in your life. So I do see what you're saying, and I also think meditations will become very pervasive in cultures all over the world. Yeah. So Chichi, do you, when you think of Osho and you say he's still all pervasive, you think he's still like through his sannyasins, he is trying to build something up, trying to create. Because most of the sannyasins I've met are very creative people. They're not like, I mean, there could be few who go in seclusion and go inward, but a lot of people are in the world. They deal with other people. They try to create and build. Do you think Osho is still working through all that?
The great mystery is what is the universal, eternal energy and wisdom that Osho says he embodies, but so do all the other enlightened beings who ever have been and ever will be. So that energy, as you've been with him long enough, you embody it. Like Chinmaya, I asked him in 2010, Swamiji, when I'm talking to you, how much is you and how much is Osho? He said, there's nobody here, Bodhicitta, it's all Osho.
Mm.
We carry the energy. The more evolved your being, it's like a virus. People catch it from you. You don't have to do it. You don't have to, the words are a meta, a map about it. They're not the territory is the energy transmission.
Mm. We spoke so much about your journey and Bardo, and I want to play a nice fun game with you. Do you want to play a game? It's called Rapid Fire.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll ask you a word, and then you just whatever comes to your mind, like first thing, you just tell me. Okay?
I'm with you.
Okay. Himalaya,
Mountain,
Osho,
Bardo,
Yogi,
Chinmaya,
Swami Chinmaya,
my deepest friend ever.
mm. Kathar Khenpo Rinpoche,
Kathar
Kathar
Khenpo Rinpoche.
Rinpoche,
Such a blessing, such a guide when I needed him.
life,
Eternal.
movies.
Movie.
Yeah, movies.
I love it. Red Skelton. When I was a kid, I used to watch every Saturday. We'd go to the movies. It was 10 cents for kids.
Hmm.
And it opened my eyes to so much that was different than the family I knew.
So Red Skeleton. Okay. Sun.
You know what Red Skelton was? He
No.
was he was a great comedian.
Okay. I'll go watch it. Sun.
Moon,
Death.
eternal.
Okay. Sex.
Yes.
So yeah, that was my small rapid fire. So Chichi, before we wrap this up, and we is there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to like throw it out, and because I'm hoping it will stick on to someone.
I hope what I said today was useful for people. The essential thing to remember is that Osho is always here and that it's our own blocks that prevent us from allowing it to be there. All the work is letting go of your own blocks and allowing love to happen.
Have you let go of most of your blocks, or you still think you're holding on to? I mean, you're here in the body, so you're holding on to something. Do you think most of them are gone?
I trust that whatever's supposed to happen is happening. Have you ever heard of the three turnings of the wheel of Dharma?
No.
The first turning, this is the Buddhist term, the first turning is the Four Noble Truths and, all of what we call method and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The second turning is emptiness, the
Mm-hmm.
Heart Sutra, the Diamond Sutra. There's no self, no being.
Mm-hmm.
The third turning of the wheel of Dharma is in the Uttara Tantra Shastra that Arya Maitreya
Mm-hmm.
delivered in the 8th century. It's about everything that can be said about the Buddha nature, about the 10 levels of being a bodhisattva,
Mm-hmm.
and why you keep reincarnating in order to develop and then spread the bodhicitta.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I can tell at this point, I'm here to spread Osho. I don't really need it anymore, but existence says, yeah, this one's useful. It's out of my hands. 10 years ago in Goa, Chinmaya said to me, "You're just happening. We can't do anything. Relax. Just let yourself happen."
Mm-hmm. Chichi, are you able to do transmissions, the Bardo? Like, if someone's dying, if I'm dying, will you come and help me?
It's a long distance. If you were closer, I probably would help you, yeah.
Also,
But
you have to be physically be present.
I've never thought about it. When Osho was leaving the body,
Mm.
I had this incredible experience, like a heart attack, and then all of a sudden, an energy opened up into my upper body, and I was incredibly blissful. This was the night before he left the body.
Mm.
My friend Swami Anand had the identical experience, only he was 8,000 miles away in Oregon.
Mm. So it could happen.
It's got more to do. And when I do an internet thing like this with you, I can feel the energy. Now, I don't think it's going through the cable. There's something about being in communion with another being, that there are dimensions beyond what contemporary science imagines that allow an instant communion of energy.
Mm. Yeah.
So probably it could happen.
Do you train anyone for like whatever you've learned about Bardo, and like what is the transmission? First, yeah, let me just rewind and like what is the transmission?
My guess is it's an energy capacity that my being has got, that vibration, that energy, and I can transmit it to others.
And it is especially useful when someone's dying, or it's generally even when we are talking like this.
It's better to prepare. They like to do it when somebody's dying, to keep reminding them, don't get lost, like stay here. Here you are. Relax. Watch your breath. It's all a dream.
Mm.
It's a help.
Mm. Mm. So do you train like people in this energy transmission, or Bardo as we call it?
It hasn't happened yet.
Mm.
Manisha and her group have got all the resources and they're doing it officially. What else is going to happen for me? I don't know. I don't feel like I'm finished yet, but I don't have a program.
Yeah. As you said, every moment, right? That's it just it's all this that you have and you've gathered over the years, maybe even lifetimes, will be with you. And I'm sure it will help everyone, all your friends, anyone who evokes this kind of energy. Death is a very important climax in your life events, and what you're doing, I think, is highly helpful.
I respond when existence invites me. I don't have an ambition to do. I'm
Mm,
here. Like I responded to your invitation to have a conversation.
yeah. Well, with that, Chichi, we're going to wind up. It was just amazing. More than amazing, I was always curious to know more about death, more about someone who's lived with Osho, someone who's been with Osho. And as you said, the contemporary way of bringing Bardo back. So I got little bits and pieces of it. Maybe we can do another episode where I get to go deeper in this training of yours. Um, but thank you for coming on the show. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, Beth. It's been a deep pleasure.
Okay. I'm going to end the conversation, but I hope to talk to you again.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.